morning sun was shining bright over Atlanta as thousands of excited fans gathered outside the Georgia World Congress Center. Today was the biggest comic convention of the year, and the energy in the air was electric. People of all ages had traveled from different states, some wearing colorful costumes of their favorite superheroes, others carrying bags full of comic books hoping to get them signed by their idols. Maya Rodriguez had been looking forward to this day for months. The 16-year-old had saved every penny from her part-time job at the local bookstore to afford the ticket and travel expenses. She had come with her 3 best friends from high school, and they had made detailed plans about which booths to visit and which celebrities they absolutely had to meet. Maya's phone was already full of pictures she had taken outside the convention center, documenting every moment of what she hoped would be the best day of her life. As the doors opened and the crowd surged forward, Maya felt the excitement rush through her veins. The convention hall was massive, bigger than anything she had ever seen before. Colorful banners hung from the ceiling, and booth after booth stretched as far as the eye could see. The sound of thousands of voices mixed together created a buzz that made her heart race with anticipation. Her friends immediately wanted to split up to cover more ground. Zoe wanted to check out the anime section, while Lily was desperate to find rare vintage comics, and Brooklyn had her eyes set on the gaming area. They agreed to meet back at the food court in 2 hours, and Maya decided to head straight to the celebrity signing area. She had one main goal: to meet her childhood heroes Dwayne Johnson and John Cena. Maya had grown up watching WWE with her grandfather every Friday night. Those were some of her favorite memories, sitting on his old leather couch, sharing a bowl of popcorn and cheering for their favorite wrestlers. Her grandfather had passed away 2 years ago, but Maya still felt his presence whenever she watched The Rock or John Cena on screen. Getting their autographs would be like honoring his memory. The celebrity area was packed with people, but Maya managed to get a decent spot in line for The Rock's booth. The line was long, snaking around several displays, but she didn't mind waiting. She pulled out her phone and texted her friends about her progress, sharing pictures of the decorations and other fans in elaborate costumes. As she waited, Maya noticed how well organized everything was. Security guards stood at regular intervals, and volunteers with bright yellow shirts helped direct the crowd. The Rock's booth was beautifully decorated with posters from his movies and wrestling career. Not too far away, she could see John Cena's booth, which had an equally impressive setup and its own long line of eager fans. About 30 minutes into her wait, Maya first noticed him. There was a man, probably in his 40s, standing near one of the merchandise booths. He wasn't really looking at the items for sale, and he seemed to be watching the crowd instead. Maya thought it was odd, but she figured maybe he was just people watching. The convention attracted all types after all. When the line moved forward, Maya moved with it, getting closer to The Rock's table. She could see him now, smiling and talking with each fan, taking time to make them feel special. He was even bigger in person than she had imagined, and his famous smile was just as warm as it appeared on screen. Her excitement grew as she realized she was actually going to meet him soon, but then she noticed the man again. He had moved. He was now closer to the celebrity area, standing behind a group of people who were watching the signing. What made Maya's stomach feel uneasy was that he seemed to be looking in her direction. When their eyes met for a brief moment, he quickly looked away, pretending to be interested in a nearby poster. Maya tried to shake off the uncomfortable feeling. She told herself she was being paranoid. This was supposed to be a fun day, and she didn't want to ruin it with unnecessary worry. She focused back on the line, which was moving steadily forward. She could hear The Rock's voice now, laughing with fans and making jokes. John Cena was equally engaging at his booth, and she could see why both men were so beloved by their fans. As another 15 minutes passed, Maya couldn't ignore what was happening anymore. The man had moved again. This time he was much closer, standing near the rope barriers that separated the signing area from the general crowd. He was definitely watching her now, and when she looked directly at him, he didn't look away as quickly as before. Maya's heart started beating faster, but not from excitement this time. She looked around for her friends, forgetting for a moment that they were in completely different sections of the convention. She pulled out her phone to text them, but realized they probably wouldn't be able to help her from where they were. The convention was too big and too crowded. She tried to tell herself that maybe the man was just waiting for someone, or maybe he was a fan like everyone else. but something about the way he was looking at her made her skin crawl. He wasn't looking at the celebrities or the displays. His attention was focused entirely on her, and it had been that way for almost an hour now. The line moved forward again, and Maya was now only about 10 people away from meeting The Rock. Under normal circumstances, she would have been thrilled. But the uncomfortable feeling in her stomach was growing stronger. She glanced back toward where the man had been standing, and her heart sank when she saw that he had moved even closer. He was now standing right behind the group of people in front of her in line. Maya realized that if he was following her, he would probably continue to follow her even after she got her autograph. The thought of walking through the crowded convention with this stranger tracking her every move made her feel sick. She looked around desperately, hoping to spot security or find some other solution to her problem. That's when she remembered something she had seen on social media a few months ago. There was a video about a silent hand signal that people could use when they needed help, but couldn't ask for it out loud. The video explained that this signal was especially useful in situations where calling for help might make things worse or put someone in more danger. Maya tried to remember exactly how to make the signal. She recalled that it involved tucking the thumb into the palm and then folding the other fingers over it. It was designed to be subtle enough that someone threatening wouldn't notice it, but clear enough that people who knew about it would understand that help was needed. As she got closer to the front of the line, Maya's anxiety continued to grow. The man was still there, still watching her. She knew she had to do something, but she wasn't sure what. Calling out for help in a crowded place like this might cause panic, and she wasn't even sure if the man had actually done anything wrong yet. Maybe he was just socially awkward, or maybe she was overreacting. But deep down, Maya knew her instincts were right. Something wasn't normal about this situation, and she needed help. Maya's mind raced as she tried to figure out what to do next. She was now only 5 people away from The Rock's table, but the excitement she had felt earlier was completely gone. Instead, her stomach was twisted in knots and her palms were getting sweaty. The man was still there, still watching her with an intensity that made her skin crawl. She pulled out her phone again, thinking about calling her mom, or maybe texting her friends for help. But what would she say? That some guy was looking at her? It sounded silly when she put it that way, but every instinct in her body was telling her that something was wrong. She had heard adults talk about trusting your gut feelings, and right now, her gut was screaming at her to get away from this situation. The problem was, she didn't know how to get away safely. The convention center was huge and crowded. Even if she left the line now, the man could easily follow her through the maze of booths and corridors. She might end up in an even more isolated area where no one could help her. At least here, she was surrounded by other people, even if they were all strangers focused on getting autographs. Maya tried to think back to that social media video she had seen. It was on TikTok, she remembered now. A young woman had posted about safety tips, and one of them was about a hand signal that could be used to ask for help silently. The video had gone viral because it was such a simple but potentially life-saving idea. The signal was designed for situations exactly like this one, where someone needed help but couldn't ask for it openly. Maya remembered the creator of the video explaining that sometimes calling for help out loud could make a dangerous situation worse. The signal was meant to be something that would catch the attention of people who knew what to look for, but wouldn't be obvious to someone who might want to hurt you. As Maya tried to recall the exact hand gesture, she moved forward in the line again. Now she was just 3 people away from meeting The Rock. Under different circumstances, she would have been taking pictures and getting more excited with each step. Instead, she was fighting back tears and trying not to panic. She remembered now. The signal involved making a fist, but in a specific way. First, you put your thumb in the middle of your palm. Then you close your other 4 fingers over your thumb, trapping it inside. When someone saw you do this, especially if you did it multiple times or held it up where others could see, it was supposed to mean that you needed help. Maya looked around the celebrity area, trying to see if there was anyone who might know about the signal. Most of the people around her were kids her age or younger, excited fans who probably wouldn't recognize what she was trying to communicate. The security guards looked busy managing the crowds and probably hadn't heard of the signal either. But then Maya's eyes landed on the celebrities themselves. Both The Rock and John Cena were known for being involved in charity work and community causes. They probably had training in safety and security because of their fame. Maybe, just maybe, they would know what the signal meant. Maya felt a small spark of hope. These weren't just any celebrities. The Rock and John Cena were known for being good people who cared about their fans. She had read stories online about times when they had gone out of their way to help people. If anyone would know about safety signals and take them seriously, it would be them. The line moved again, and now Maya was second in line. The teenage girl in front of her was bouncing with excitement, clutching a poster that she wanted signed. Maya tried to smile and act normal, but her heart was pounding so hard she was sure everyone around her could hear it. She glanced back one more time and felt her blood run cold. The man had moved again. He was now standing right at the edge of the signing area, close enough that he could see and hear everything that happened when it was her turn to meet the Rock. This wasn't casual people watching anymore. This was definitely following her, and it was getting worse. Maya made her decision. She was going to try the signal. She practiced the hand gesture discreetly, keeping her hands low and making sure the man couldn't see what she was doing. Thumb in the palm, fingers closed over it. It felt awkward at first, but she got the hang of it quickly. The trick would be positioning herself so that the celebrities could see her hands without making it obvious to anyone else what she was doing. The girl in front of her stepped up to the Rock's table, and Maya watched as he greeted her with his famous smile. He was even more charming in person, taking time to talk with the girl about her poster and making her laugh. John Cena was doing the same thing at his booth nearby, creating a warm and friendly atmosphere despite the chaos of the convention. Maya noticed that both wrestlers had a clear view of the area where people waited in line. They were also positioned so they could see each other, probably so they could coordinate if there were any problems with crowd control. This was perfect for what Maya needed to do. As The Rock finished signing the poster and taking a selfie with the excited fan, Maya realized it was almost her turn. Her mouth felt dry and her hands were shaking slightly. She had never been in a situation like this before, and she wasn't sure if she was doing the right thing. But the alternative, doing nothing and hoping the man would just go away, felt much worse. Maya took a deep breath and stepped forward as the girl in front of her moved away with her signed poster. The Rock looked up at her with his warm smile, and for a moment, Maya forgot about everything else. She was actually standing in front of one of her heroes, someone she had admired for years. "Hey there," The Rock said in his deep, friendly voice. "How are you doing today? Are you having fun at the convention?" Maya managed to smile back, but she knew her expression probably looked forced. "Yes, sir," she said, her voice slightly shaky. "I'm having a great time." But even as she spoke to her idol, Maya was acutely aware of the man standing behind her, still watching, still making her feel unsafe. This was her chance. She had to try the signal now, while she had the attention of people who might be able to help her. Maya positioned her hands where both The Rock and John Cena could see them. She tried to look natural, as if she was just nervous about meeting a celebrity. Slowly, carefully, she made the signal, thumb tucked into her palm, fingers folding over it, creating what looked like a regular fist but was actually a cry for help. She held the position for a few seconds, then relaxed her hand, then made the signal again. Her heart was beating so fast she felt dizzy, but she kept her eyes on The Rock's face, hoping desperately that he would understand what she was trying to tell him. For a moment, nothing happened. The Rock continued smiling at her, and Maya wondered if he hadn't noticed or if he didn't know what the signal meant. Maybe this whole plan was stupid. Maybe she should just get her autograph and try to figure out another way to deal with the situation. But then something changed in The Rock's expression. His smile remained the same, but his eyes became more focused. He glanced quickly at her hands, then back at her face, then over toward John Cena's booth. Maya saw John Cena look in their direction, and she realized that The Rock was subtly communicating with him. Maya made the signal one more time, and this time she was sure that both celebrities had seen it and understood what it meant. The Rock's demeanor shifted slightly. He was still being friendly and normal for the sake of all the fans watching, but Maya could sense that he was now alert and paying attention to more than just her autograph request. "So, what would you like me to sign for you today?" The Rock asked, his voice still warm but with an undertone that suggested he was thinking about more than just the signing. Maya pulled out the poster she had brought, a picture of The Rock from one of his movies. Her hands were shaking as she handed it to him, but she tried to stay calm. "Could you sign this, please?" she managed to say. As The Rock took the poster and began signing it, Maya could see that he was also scanning the area around them. His trained eyes were taking in the crowd, looking for whatever had made her feel the need to signal for help. John Cena had also become more alert, and Maya noticed that he was paying attention to their interaction while still greeting his own fans. The man who had been following Maya was still standing nearby, trying to look casual, but clearly focused on what was happening at the Rock's table. Maya tried not to look directly at him, but she was very aware of his presence. She hoped that the celebrities would be able to spot him and understand that he was the source of her distress. "Are you here with friends today?" The Rock asked as he finished signing her poster, his question sounding casual but loaded with meaning. "Yes," Maya replied quietly, "but they're in other parts of the convention. I'm by myself right now." The Rock nodded, understanding the situation more clearly now. Maya was alone and vulnerable, and someone or something had made her feel unsafe enough to use an emergency signal. He handed back her signed poster with a reassuring smile. "Well, I hope the rest of your day here is amazing," he said. But Maya could tell that he wasn't planning to let her walk away and face whatever danger she had signaled about. Something was going to happen next, and Maya felt a mixture of relief and anticipation as she realized that her desperate plan might actually work. What happened next was so smooth and professional that most people in the crowd didn't even notice anything had changed. But Maya saw it all unfold, and for the first time in over an hour, she felt like maybe everything was going to be okay. The Rock finished signing Maya's poster, but instead of immediately moving on to the next fan like he had been doing all day, he did something different. He looked directly at John Cena and gave him a very subtle nod. To anyone else watching, it might have looked like two friends acknowledging each other across a busy room. But Maya could tell it was much more than that. John Cena, who had been in the middle of signing an autograph for a young boy, somehow managed to finish his interaction quickly without making the kid feel rushed. He said something to one of the event organizers standing near his booth, pointing casually toward the security station. The organizer nodded and walked away, probably thinking John just needed more water or wanted to take a quick break. Meanwhile, The Rock was still talking to Maya, but now his conversation had a purpose beyond just being friendly. "You know," he said, his voice calm and reassuring, "I'm really impressed by young people like you who are smart about staying safe. That's exactly the kind of awareness that makes me proud of the next generation." Maya realized he was talking about her signal. He was letting her know, without saying it directly, that he had understood her message and that help was coming. The relief that washed over her was so strong that she almost started crying right there at the signing table. "Thank you," she whispered, and she wasn't talking about the autograph. The Rock smiled at her with genuine warmth. "You just stay right here with me for a minute, okay? I want to introduce you to my friend John when he's done with his current fan." This was clearly not part of the normal signing routine. Fans usually got their autograph, maybe a quick photo, and then moved along to make room for the next person. But The Rock was finding a reason to keep Maya close, to keep her in a safe space while whatever plan he and John Cena had developed started to unfold. Maya glanced nervously toward where the man had been standing and felt her stomach drop. He was still there, and now he looked agitated. He had definitely noticed that something was different about her interaction with The Rock. The conversation was taking longer than normal, and there seemed to be some kind of communication happening between the two celebrities that he couldn't understand. John Cena finished with his fan and stood up from his signing table. Maya watched as he walked over toward The Rock's booth, but his path wasn't direct. Instead, he took a route that brought him closer to where the suspicious man was standing. As he walked, John greeted fans along the way, stopping to take quick selfies and shake hands. To everyone watching, it looked like he was just being extra friendly and engaging with the crowd, but Maya could see what was really happening. John was positioning himself strategically, creating what looked like a casual meet-and-greet situation, but was actually a way to get closer to the man who had been following her. Every step was calculated. Every stop to talk with fans was chosen carefully. When John reached The Rock's booth, the two men greeted each other like old friends, which of course they were. But Maya noticed that they were also both now in positions where they could see the entire area clearly. The Rock was behind his signing table, John was standing to the side, and together they had a complete view of everyone in the immediate vicinity. "Maya," The Rock said, and hearing him use her name made her feel safer somehow. "I'd like you to meet my good friend John. John, this is Maya, and she's been telling me about how much she enjoys coming to conventions like this." John Cena reached out to shake her hand, and his grip was firm and reassuring. "It's great to meet you, Maya." he said with his trademark smile. "The Rock tells me you're a big fan of what we do. That means a lot to us." As they talked, Maya became aware that other people were moving around them. Security guards were repositioning themselves, though they were being very subtle about it. Event staff members were also shifting their locations, creating what looked like a natural flow of people but was clearly a coordinated effort. The man who had been following Maya seemed to sense that something was changing. Maya could see him from the corner of her eye, and he was no longer trying to look casual. He was studying the situation, probably trying to figure out why the normal flow of the signing line had been disrupted, and why there seemed to be more staff members in the area than there had been before. "You know what?" John Cena said to Maya, his voice friendly but with an undertone of purpose. "I think we should get a picture together. All three of us." "What do you say?" This was clearly part of their plan. By taking a photo, they were creating a reason to spend even more time with Maya, keeping her in a protected space while other things happened around them. Maya nodded eagerly, genuinely excited about the opportunity despite everything else that was going on. As they positioned themselves for the photo, Maya noticed that The Rock and John Cena had arranged things so that she was between them, with both celebrities facing outward toward the crowd. This meant they could keep an eye on everything happening around them while still making the photo look natural and fun. One of the event photographers came over to take the picture, but Maya noticed that this photographer seemed to be paying attention to more than just getting a good shot. His eyes were also scanning the crowd, and she realized that he was probably part of the security team, someone who could move around freely and observe without being obvious about it. "Smile big," the photographer said, and Maya did, though her smile was a mixture of genuine excitement about meeting her heroes and relief that they were taking care of her situation. As the camera flashed, Maya caught sight of the man again. He had moved closer, clearly frustrated by his inability to understand what was happening. But now Maya could see that he wasn't the only one who had moved. There were definitely more security personnel in the area than there had been when she first got in line. After the photo was taken, John Cena put a gentle hand on Maya's shoulder. "Maya, would you like to see something really cool? We have a special area behind the booths where we keep some of our championship belts and movie props. Not many fans get to see that area." Maya's eyes widened. She knew this was part of their plan to get her away from the crowd and the man who had been following her. But she was also genuinely excited about the opportunity. "Really? That would be amazing." "Absolutely," The Rock said, standing up from his signing table. "In fact, I think it's time for both of us to take a quick break anyway. We can show you around back there, and then maybe we can figure out how to make the rest of your convention experience even better." Maya realized that they were offering her more than just a tour. They were offering her protection, a chance to get away from her stalker and time to figure out what to do next. These two superstars, people she had admired for years, were going out of their way to keep her safe. As they started to guide her away from the signing area, Maya felt an enormous weight lifting off her shoulders. She wasn't alone anymore. She had allies now. Powerful allies who knew how to handle difficult situations and who clearly cared about her well-being. The man who had been following her watched as the group moved away from the signing tables, and Maya could see the confusion and frustration on his face. Whatever his plan had been, it wasn't working anymore. Maya was no longer isolated and vulnerable. She was under the protection of two of the most recognizable and respected people at the entire convention. And best of all, everything had been handled so smoothly that most of the other fans in the area had no idea that anything unusual was happening. To them, it just looked like Maya had gotten incredibly lucky and was receiving some kind of VIP treatment from her favorite celebrities. But Maya knew the truth. Her desperate decision to make that hand signal had worked. Help had come, and now she was safe. As The Rock and John Cena led Maya away from the signing area, she felt like she was walking into a completely different world. Behind the main celebrity booths was a space that most convention-goers never got to see. There were comfortable chairs, tables with snacks and drinks, and walls lined with amazing memorabilia that wasn't part of the public displays. "Welcome to our backstage area," The Rock said with a genuine smile, though Maya could tell he was still alert and keeping an eye on everything around them. "This is where we take our breaks and store some of our personal items during events like this." John Cena gestured toward one of the comfortable chairs. "Maya, why don't you have a seat and grab something to drink?" You look like you could use it. Maya realized she was still shaking slightly from all the stress and adrenaline. She gratefully sank into the chair and accepted the bottle of water that John handed her. For the first time in over an hour, she felt truly safe. The area was separated from the main convention floor by black curtains, and there were security personnel stationed at the entrances. Now, The Rock said, sitting down across from her, let's talk about what's been going on today. You used that hand signal for a reason, and we want to make sure you're okay. Maya took a sip of water and tried to organize her thoughts. Now that she was safe, the whole experience felt almost surreal. Had she really just signaled for help using something she learned on TikTok? Had two of the biggest stars in entertainment really dropped everything to help her? There's this man, she began, her voice still a little shaky. He's been following me around the convention for over an hour. At first I thought maybe I was being paranoid, but he kept showing up wherever I went. When I got in line to meet you, he followed me there too. He was standing right behind the other fans, just watching me. John Cena nodded seriously. Can you describe him for us? What was he wearing? How old did he look? Anything distinctive about him? Maya described the man as best she could remember. Middle-aged, wearing a dark blue jacket. Average height, but with an intense way of staring that made her uncomfortable. As she talked, she noticed that John was subtly communicating with someone through what looked like a small radio device clipped to his shirt. You did exactly the right thing, The Rock assured her. Trusting your instincts when something feels wrong is one of the most important safety skills anyone can have. And using that signal was really smart thinking under pressure. While they talked, Maya became aware of activity happening beyond the curtained area. She couldn't see what was going on, but she could hear voices and the sound of people moving around. It seemed like whatever plan The Rock and John Cena had put into motion was continuing to unfold. Is he still out there? Maya asked nervously. Don't worry about that right now, John said kindly. Our security team is very good at what they do. They're handling the situation professionally and safely. Maya felt a wave of gratitude wash over her. These two superstars had taken her seriously, believed her when she said she felt threatened, and were making sure she was protected. She thought about all the stories she had heard about celebrities who cared about their fans, but experiencing it firsthand was something completely different. I can't believe you guys knew what that hand signal meant, she said. I was so scared it wouldn't work. The Rock leaned forward with interest. How did you learn about it? That signal has been getting more attention lately as a safety tool. I saw it on TikTok a few months ago, Maya explained. This woman made a video about different ways to ask for help when you can't do it out loud. She said it was especially important for young people to know about it. John Cena smiled. Social media gets a lot of criticism, but videos like that can literally save lives. The fact that you remembered it and had the courage to use it when you needed it shows real maturity. As they continued talking, one of the security team members approached them. He was a professional-looking man in a dark suit with an earpiece, and he spoke quietly to John Cena for a moment before stepping back. John nodded at whatever information he had received. Maya, the good news is that the situation has been resolved. The man who is bothering you has been identified and removed from the convention. Maya felt an enormous sense of relief flood through her body. Really? He's gone? He's gone, The Rock confirmed. Convention security approached him and had a conversation. It turns out he had been making several other people uncomfortable today as well, not just you. When they asked him to leave, he didn't put up any resistance. Maya realized that her decision to signal for help might have protected other people too. Maybe there were other young fans who had felt uncomfortable but hadn't known how to ask for help, or hadn't been in a position where someone would notice their distress. What happens now? She asked. Now, John said. You get to enjoy the rest of your convention day. Your friends are probably wondering where you are, right? Maya pulled out her phone and saw several text messages from Zoe, Lily, and Brooklyn. They were all excited about their own experiences at different parts of the convention and were ready to meet up as planned. She quickly texted them back, saying she had an amazing story to tell them, but that she was fine and would meet them at the food court soon. Before you go, The Rock said, we want to make sure you have some way to contact security if you need help again. Conventions are generally very safe, but it's always good to be prepared. One of the event organizers brought over a special convention badge that had a direct line to security printed on it. This will get you immediate help if you need it, she explained. Just call or text that number and someone will respond right away. Maya clipped the badge to her backpack, feeling much more confident about navigating the rest of the convention. She also realized that she now had an incredible story to share with her friends, though she knew they probably wouldn't believe how amazing the Rock and John Cena had been until she showed them the photos. "I don't know how to thank you enough," Maya said, standing up to leave. "You guys literally saved my day, maybe even saved me from something worse." The Rock stood up and gave her a gentle hug. "You saved yourself, Maya. We just helped out a little bit. You're the one who recognized a dangerous situation and took action to protect yourself." John Cena also hugged her goodbye. "Remember what happened here today? You have good instincts and you're braver than you probably realize. Don't ever doubt yourself when something feels wrong." As Maya prepared to leave the VIP area and rejoin the convention, she felt like a completely different person than she had been when she first got in line for autographs. She was still the same 16-year-old girl who loved comics and wrestling. But now she also knew that she could handle scary situations, that there were good people in the world who would help when needed, and that sometimes the things you learn on social media could literally save your life. The Rock and John Cena walked her partway back toward the main convention floor, making sure she felt comfortable and confident before letting her go on her own. As they said their final goodbyes, Maya realized that this experience had given her something much more valuable than autographs or photos. It had given her confidence in herself and faith in the kindness of others. And that was something she would carry with her long after the convention was over. Maya walked through the convention center toward the food court, but everything felt different now. The same crowds that had seemed overwhelming and potentially dangerous just an hour ago now felt manageable and even exciting again. She had the special security badge clipped to her backpack, signed posters in her bag, and most importantly, a new sense of confidence that she could handle whatever came her way. When she spotted her 3 friends sitting at a table near the pizza stand, Maya felt a rush of happiness. Zoe was showing off some anime figurines she had bought, Lily had a stack of vintage comics, and Brooklyn was excitedly talking about a gaming tournament she had watched. They all looked up when Maya approached, and immediately their expressions changed to curiosity and concern. "Maya, where have you been?" Zoe asked, jumping up to hug her. "Your texts were so mysterious. Are you okay? You look like something major happened. Did you cry meeting the Rock?" Lily teased, but her smile faded when she saw Maya's expression. "Wait, are you actually okay? You look kind of shaken up." Maya sat down at the table and took a deep breath. "You guys are not going to believe what just happened to me. And I mean, you literally will not believe it until I show you the photos." Over the next 20 minutes, Maya told her friends the entire story. She started with noticing the man following her, explained how she remembered the TikTok video about the hand signal, and described how The Rock and John Cena had recognized her distress and helped her. Her friends' expressions changed from disbelief to concern to amazement as the story unfolded. "Show us the photos," Brooklyn demanded when Maya finished talking. Maya pulled out her phone and showed them the pictures she had taken with both celebrities. But more than that, she showed them the special security badge and the signed posters that proved her story was real. "This is incredible," Zoe said, staring at the photos. "I mean, it's terrible that guy was following you, but the fact that The Rock and John Cena actually helped you? That's like something out of a movie. I can't believe you remembered that hand signal thing," Lily added. "I think I saw that same TikTok video, but I probably would have been too scared to actually use it." Maya realized that her friends' reactions were giving her an opportunity to share something important. "That's exactly why I want to tell people about this. The hand signal thing actually works, but only if people know about it. And more importantly, only if people know to look for it." Brooklyn nodded thoughtfully. "You should totally post about this on your socials. I bet tons of people would want to hear this story." As they talked, Maya noticed that other people in the food court were looking at their table with interest. Word was apparently starting to spread that something unusual had happened at the celebrity signing area. Maya overheard snippets of conversations from nearby tables, with people talking about how The Rock and John Cena had spent extra time with one fan, and how there seemed to be more security around than usual. "I think people are already talking about it," Maya said quietly to her friends. Sure enough, over the next hour, several people approached their table asking if Maya was the girl who had met The Rock and John Cena. Word travels fast at conventions, especially when celebrities do something out of the ordinary. Maya found herself telling her story several more times, and each time she did, she felt more confident and more determined to use her experience to help others. Later that afternoon, while the 4 friends were browsing through comic book booths, Maya's phone started buzzing with notifications. At first, she thought it might be her parents checking in. But when she looked at her phone, she saw something unexpected. Both The Rock and John Cena had posted on their social media accounts about the importance of safety awareness and recognizing help signals. They didn't mention Maya by name or share any details about what had happened, but they both talked about how young people should trust their instincts and know how to ask for help when they need it. "Oh my gosh, Maya, look at this," Zoe said, showing her own phone screen. The Rock just posted about that hand signal thing. He's explaining how it works and telling people to share the information. Maya read the post with amazement. The Rock had written, "Today reminded me how important it is for everyone to know about safety signals. Young people especially should know that there are ways to ask for help, even in situations where speaking up might not be safe. The hand signal shown in this post could save someone's life. Share this information with the young people in your life." John Cena's post was similar, focusing on the importance of bystander awareness and encouraging people to pay attention to those around them who might need help. Sometimes being a hero just means paying attention and caring enough to act when someone needs help, he had written. Within hours, both posts were being shared thousands of times. Maya watched in amazement as her experience started a much larger conversation about safety, awareness, and the responsibility everyone has to look out for each other. "I can't believe this," she said to her friends as they continued walking through the convention. "Something that started as the worst part of my day is now helping other people learn how to stay safe." As the afternoon went on, Maya's confidence continued to grow. She found herself speaking up more in conversations, offering to help other fans who looked lost or confused, and generally feeling more aware of her surroundings in a positive way. The experience had changed her, but not in a way that made her fearful or paranoid. Instead, it had made her feel more capable and more connected to the people around her. Near the end of the day, as the four friends were preparing to leave the convention, Maya received an unexpected message on her social media. It was from a girl about her age from another state, who had seen the post from The Rock and John Cena and wanted to thank Maya for sharing her story. The message read, "I don't know if you'll see this, but I wanted you to know that your story probably saved me today. I was at a different event and a guy was making me really uncomfortable. I remembered reading about what happened to you and the hand signal thing, and I used it. A security guard saw me and helped me get away from the situation. Thank you for being brave enough to share what happened." Maya showed the message to her friends, and they all stood there for a moment, realizing the real impact of what had happened. Maya's quick thinking and the celebrities' willingness to help hadn't just resolved one dangerous situation. It had created awareness that was already helping other people in similar circumstances. "This is so much bigger than just what happened to you today," Brooklyn said, shaking her head in amazement. As they walked out of the convention center and toward their car, Maya reflected on how much had changed in just one day. She had started the morning as an excited fan hoping to meet her heroes. She had gone through a frightening experience that could have ruined her entire day or worse, but instead, she had learned that she was stronger and smarter than she had realized, that there were good people willing to help when needed, and that sometimes the scariest experiences can lead to the most positive outcomes. Most importantly, Maya had learned that sharing difficult experiences rather than hiding them could help protect other people from going through the same thing. Her story was already spreading beyond the convention, beyond her social media posts, and beyond what The Rock and John Cena had shared. It was becoming part of a larger conversation about safety, awareness, and the power of community. As Maya and her friends drove home, talking excitedly about all the amazing things they had experienced that day, Maya knew that this was a story she would be telling for years to come, and every time she told it, she hoped it would help someone else stay safe, speak up when something felt wrong, and remember that asking for help was always the right choice.